Everybody make your mic around, please. Great, thank you. Okay, so we're going to call the Parks Committee meeting to order at 5 o'clock Wednesday, June 5th. Can we do the roll call, please? Colleen? Kelly? Here. Ed?
Present.
Jeanette? Here. Tracy? Here. Marlene? Here. Paula? Here. And Paul? Okay, Okay, please stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Citizens' comments. Is there nobody is here? Anybody on Zoom? No one on Zoom. No one on Zoom. Okay. The meeting minutes from the 5/8 meeting. Does anybody have any revisions or comments to make on them?
I have a comment.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
When we had the motion for the baseball night, the motion from Lisbon Park to Lisbon Community Park,
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit confusing because I thought the discussion was to, because originally it's Lisbon Oaks, and we're working on this 5-year plan. And I thought the discussion, instead of talking about Lisbon Oaks, is going to be talking about the community park to the baseball diamond. And I thought it was an add to the conversation on the 5-year plan. Not that all of a sudden jump ahead of everything we talked about in the last year and trying to get a 5-year plan together. And I even asked for a little clarification, and it wasn't real clear that the vote was going to be jumping ahead of everything for the Lisbon Community Park baseball diamond. Because it's a very expensive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about all these other playground replacements. The washrooms at Lisbon Community Park. Number of other things. And when I looked at, I saw on the minutes, it became apparent that my observation wasn't what I thought it was. That's why I voted for it. I thought it was just to put it into discussion for the 5-year plan.
Well, it was always in discussion in the 5-year plan, but that vote was specifically to move it to community park, because that was after Mike had met with the
That's
team that we were
where-
going to be
that's
getting
where-
the money for, yeah.
That's where the confusion, because I would have thought something that big and expensive would have been part of the 5-year plan, that we looked at everything else and we kind of pigeonholed it. What was the most essential that the community needed? Because this all came up, if my understanding is correct, because a baseball organization was gonna give a little bit of money to upgrade Lisbon community, Lisbon Oaks.
Mhm.
And it made this all of a sudden, this quantum leap from upgrading Lisbon Oaks to now proposing a very expensive addition to Lisbon Community Park
Mhm.
without any real good discussion. A number of park people here weren't even part of that. And they missed the vote.
The-
Well, that had to do with the age group changing because we don't have the proper fields for that. Was
Right.
it 12, 13-year-old, something like that?
Remember, because it's going to back up to the basketball court, there was going to have to be netting, it
Well,
wouldn't fit in there
Good
properly.
discussion.
Yeah.
But on the 5-year plan, we had all kinds of very important things we wanted to accomplish with all of the parks.
Well, there's nothing to be said that because of this, everything else is going to be put on hold. I mean, we're still working on the 5-year plan, so there's still be all of that stuff, agendized out and prioritized as well.
It seemed like it did a quantum leap without a lot of discussion, that all of a sudden it got moved to the front of the line. I'm a conservative with my tax money and my planning to the parks and everything else. And this just seemed to be a big budget item without a lot of real clear discussion. And I even asked for clarification what was going on. It wasn't real clear that this was going to be kind of a jump ahead of everything.
So, I can tell you, we brought the, Lisbon Oak Park expansion to the, village board. And it was there at the village board that asked us to look into moving it to, just a brand new diamond in Community Park. And so it was something that we were charged with to move forward. We brought, the information, numbers then, Mike did all the work to get some numbers together. We brought that to the village board, and the village board said, let's just run it through the committee first. And then the board then made the decision to go out to RFP. That RFP is out for the new diamond. But that's where it started from. So we first started with the baseball club, saying, we're gonna give you $40,000 to, increase the size at Lisbon Oak Park. But then when the board started discussing it, and you could probably go back to that board, it's online, so you can listen to the discussion on it being moved to Community Park, and asking us to go ahead and look at what the costs would be to move it. The baseball club was fine with us. They would still be donating money toward the plan. So they would, it's just that Lisbon Oak Park would stay the same, because during the discussion, the item was discussed, well, is this going to be is it not used? And Mike said, no, it's booked now. And they said, well, then why would we how are we gonna fit more clubs on it or more games if it's already booked? And that's when they said, well, why don't we just get another one, a bigger one in Community Park?
And there's a parking issue at Lisbon Oaks.
Well,
Yeah.
what happened to the
Did
five-
everybody else have the same?
My question is the 5-year plan. It should have been brought back and laying everything out, because we've been talking the last 2 years about bathrooms up in Lisbon community, and that's a big, important thing. When I talk to people all of the time up there, with the kids and the mothers and the families, the biggest thing that they have in their mind if they want to serve Lisbon is to put some decent facilities up there. And all of this playground stuff that we were going to work on a plan to replace all of that. I can see putting this in line with everything else that we want to do.
Well, I know the board is also in favor of getting bathrooms there. It's just, we're in the process of discussing spending some money that we have set aside, and we will move forward on that one. But the Community Park baseball diamond is moving forward at this point, and then the next thing that would be the toilets at Community Park.
Well, I'm a little disappointed because the baseball organization, though I've got nothing against baseball. My grandkids play and select ball and stuff, and we have for years, and I understand all of what goes on. My question is simply, we as a committee, for a couple of years, we've been working on this 5-year plan that gets nowhere other than a lot of discussion month after month. And
Well, I believe you passed a 5-year plan a few years back, and now what you're working on right now is how you want to update.
Yeah.
So that's in the process of updating. That's not gonna hold back for, the fact that you're looking at, updating the capital plan should not, or the 5-year plan should not hold back the growth of the
we
parks.
talked
when you
about
have the
all kinds
ability
of
to do it.
community surveys and really getting in what the community wanted and trying to get a real honest evaluation of the best served community. And because it's almost like a lobbyist coming in, well, I'll give you a little bit of money for this project. And then all of a sudden it jumps to something 3-4 times the size, and it gets pushed through real quick.
All the five-year plan is still in the works. This just kind of was an off feed from it. That took root that, hey, we need it and we can work on
Well,
it.
if it wasn't such an expensive venture. You know, like I said, I got nothing against baseball and another diamond.
Yeah.
It's just that the resources, as far as the parks are concerned, are so limited. And there's so many things across the board that we've been talking about for such a long time.
And we will work on prioritizing all of those things, the bathrooms being, I think everybody pretty much agrees the bathrooms up there are the number one thing, which really honestly with the baseball diamond up there is gonna help because they kind of like work together, right? They're kind of,
Well, you
Work off each
certainly
other.
aren't gonna be able to do the same. put them both
well,
together.
we don't know what the funding is gonna be yet. There's some money out there. I don't know exactly what it is, but the parks are an important part of the agenda for the board. I can tell you that. It is not something that is thought of as like a passing thought. This is a very, very important piece of the community that we're gonna be working on. I can promise you that.
Well, I've been on this board for 6 years and it's been static as far as anything really happening part of it.
Well, that'll be up to us to,
Yeah.
6
And
years, you're just getting started.
I
We
know.
just
Um,
have, just one mention. We are way off subject. This was a minutes discussion. A discussion
Sure.
on the minutes.
Mhm.
If we're gonna bring back the capital plan next meeting. The 5-year capital project plan, we'll bring that back next week or next meeting again. Not next week, but next meeting in July. We'll recap this and then do the 5-year plan again, so. Until you guys figure out exactly what you wanna do. That's, with surveys and such. I mean, if you think about that amount, we're gonna need to have a meeting just on that by itself. So,
Mhm. And everybody else was clear as to what that motion and vote was for last time, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I was obviously not here.
Yeah.
Just a point of clarification, Paula,
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
what Paul is asking, et cetera. Did I think I heard you say, or I did hear you say, that the group that was looking at Lisbon Oaks and the configuration of the ball diamond would not have fit because we have the basketball court that's really pretty close to that baseball diamond.
It could
Would
have
and reach-
worked.
Would have fit, but they would have done a higher fencing from the left field to about center field because of the
Okay.
basketball court and the volleyball court. But it was the same thing where parking was still a concern,
Mhm.
and then just adding a whole new field instead of just upgrading an existing field to help.
Okay.
alleviate
Yeah, because
stress.
to my knowledge, Mike, I believe third base and possibly second base are in direct line with that basketball court that was installed.
Yeah,
In terms of, people hitting,
yeah, yes.
okay.
just
Um,
remember, we're on minutes, guys.
Yeah.
yes. Anyway, I just wanted clarification
We
on
just
that.
wanna stay on the.
Sorry,
on the
Kathy.
agenda.
Okay,
Staying on task
Well, it's just the agenda doesn't allow us to talk about things that aren't done.
on the agenda. Well, as they say, stay on target.
okay, so are we gonna go ahead and approve then the minutes from last week?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, Marlene, and anybody need second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. On to correspondence. Does anybody have any correspondence?
No,
Nope.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Mike, oh, wait, Kathy?
We have some.
Okay.
some minutes, but I wanted to let you know that the Community Fest, I got an email from Natasha today that said that the number of hits on our website on the Community Fest this year has gone way up.
Oh,
So we put a little bit more money into marketing, but and she hasn't done the statistics to see if that's where they're coming from, but she said it's much more. We should see we have many more people that are interested in. it. So hopefully
Fantastic.
that turns out to numbers
Mhm.
that day.
Fantastic.
Pray for-
No rain.
Or no, yeah.
Knock on wood quick.
We gotta get-
It's gonna get rained out
Gotta stop.
this week.
Can't be any more stuff in the clouds, can there?
Oh, my gosh.
We're gonna have a drought for too long.
Not after this morning.
We have more coming tonight.
All right,
Okay.
Mike, you're up.
All right, so this past month, my 3 summer kids did start. We continued to mow and pull weeds, daily grooming of the ball fields, prepping fields for games and practices. I've been working on trimming, trees and brush along the paths at Lisbon Community Park and along Lake 5 Road. Jeff has also been working with the DPW, the last few weeks on Thursdays and Fridays to help them catch up with, brush pickup. That is about it.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, and on to the thing at hand, the community festival.
All right.
What,
Do you want to talk or do you want you to talk?
you've done most of the work, so I'm gonna let you take it.
All right, so we have an assignment sheet. We've got, where there's no assignment, that's gonna be up at the top and there, no people were needed. The, petting farm only, I mean, they were okay with no one, but always welcome to have somebody there. And when I talked to you, you were good with going over there.
Yeah, so just depending on if we do get a giant influx of people, the petting zoo can be a bit. Because only a certain number of kids can go into each section at a time, so lines can build up fast at those. If that were to happen, it might be nice to have another person come up, but we can play that by ear.
Yeah.
Just as far as keeping people sort of organized, you know, in the time that they showed up to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, our thing with that is that everybody that volunteered is on this list. I talked to Brad and he was gonna come, but then he decided to go up north, so he's not gonna come. We've had a couple people that kind of bowed out on helping out, but we do have the 2 brand new people. One person that's gonna be here for a full day and was fine with being at one of the inflatables all day long.
Is that Jean?
Jean, and then we have another person, Casey, that's doing a half day on the horse-drawn wagon, and then she's gonna come morning, and then I have Paul there in the afternoon.
Well, maybe what we can even do up top there, the wagon rides are gonna be fairly close, so you guys can just kind of keep an eye on each other, and if
Yeah.
you need help, you know, one of you guys can sure jump in and help.
Yeah,
Herd the
so
children.
we're trying to do 3 people there.
Heard the
So
kids.
if you don't need the 3 people and she needs them, then just one person can go over there.
Yeah.
You guys can manage that yourself.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it.
The,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Item number 1, rock wall, you can put my name in there. I mean,
There's-
I emailed the coordinator. They are planning to be on site approximately around 10:30. So I know where it's gonna go. We walked it the other day. And so as soon as they know where they're gonna go, they're independent, because they'll have 2 or 3 people from Adventure Rock. So they don't need my help. But just throw my name next to the X and then I'll proceed up to the horsies.
Yeah, because the rock wall doesn't need any help.
No, it does not.
There's
He's just gonna get them where they need to go, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
after, as I said, after
Because
they're
they're the
positioned,
first
I'm
one in.
done.
The rock
That's great.
wall is
Appreciate
number
it.
1, it's right at the very beginning, so it's not going in too far. Just coming from.
Yeah, and they'll appreciate that and I appreciate that. Again, we looked at it just the other day and that's fine. It's perfect for them.
Good. Perfect.
Anyway.
Thanks, Ed.
So I've got Colleen at a bouncy house, Jean at the obstacle, and is the only one that's really set on which one they want is John. This, I guess he's a baseball. player,
Yep.
So he
Yeah.
is, otherwise, you know, you 3 women can change off wherever you want to be. It doesn't make any difference to me. It's just I needed to make sure that there were a person for every inflatable. The face painters and balloon makers, they don't need anything. I should say that if you have these signs for their table, Genesee Aggregate is paying for what that costs.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna thank them for that. The wagon ride, that was something you asked me to do, Danette, was to get signs out.
Wonderful.
So I got a plastic one that we could maybe put stadium and put it right by the thing, but then I have two more that we can put by the beer or the.
Great
So
Why don't you give me one and I'll hang it up with the beer signs?
I'll take care of that.
Oh, you're gonna hang it up? Okay.
And then, so then, the Optimist Club is set. I've got, the face painters will need a table and 2 chairs,
One table.
one table, 2 chairs.
For each, right?
And then the balloon making will be a table and 2 chairs as well. And then I figured in the food tent, they should have a couple chairs, and the beer tent should have a couple chairs.
If it's busy,
Maybe-
nobody's gonna be sitting down.
Right, but if you have enough chairs, even putting them by the inflatables, just a chair there, because the person that's standing there after 6 hours. is
Yeah.
gonna-
Needs to
they're
sit
gonna be-
down. That's-
And so you want to be able to sit down if you have a moment that you can sit down and,
And the face painters will need 4 chairs.
Yeah, we're gonna need more chairs for the face painter.
oh, because they.
They-
have two
they
people
sit and the
sitting.
kid sits,
Okay,
yeah.
4, sorry. Make that note. Good catch.
And the balloon, you don't really need any, but maybe one for the guy.
Well, there's 2 guys.
Oh, there's 2 guys, but the kids
And-
don't sit. when they're
No,
making
but
their
they need,
balloons.
but the 2 people should be able to sit.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got the Optimist Club for food, for beer, I have Marlene, and then, since Paula's,
I am going to be out of town. My daughter got a huge promotion and is gonna be moving to Nashville. Ends her current job Wednesday and starts the next one Sunday, so it's a very quick turnaround.
happens to be over the weekend of the festival.
Yeah, every other weekend out of the entire year, she picks that one.
So, well.
She's getting back at us for helping us out. She was very helpful a few years. ago.
Well, I know.
So I put Mark or Jeff in there, our 2 parks guys, because it has to be an employee.
Mhm.
So there's only going to be 4 employees there, Mark, Jeff, myself, and Marlene. And I can go over in between, well, people,
I'm a bold person, so I'm okay.
are you a voter?
Actually, I was gonna look and check and see if I got my first check.
Not yet.
So you put-
They're
so you-
doing that
are you-
next, they're doing those.
Are you adding Tracy to?
From the April one?
I did not, because I've got Tracy on the basketball. And so I can't put her down there, but, if the guys don't wanna do money and they wanna trade with Tracy. So,
I will just say the last 2 years, there is no break. It's busy all the time.
Yeah, the beer tent.
Yeah, it's busy all the time.
so.
Well,
so,
even that, I mean, it'd be nice to have a floater or 2 just to
what's the-
be able to go to the bathroom. Get a
Like,
drink.
end
or
of
something,
shift.
or-
um,
Just don't drink.
Right.
So, then, we're at the horse-drawn carriage, and or wagon, we did talk about that. I do have down there to have at least 2 chairs there. Because, somebody might might be able to sit down while they're on their trail, you'd be able to sit down for a few minutes, and then, the petting farm, I did put a chair there for you too. Yeah. And I might be just thinking that there's gonna be some lull time in different places and you'll have a moment to sit, but, if you don't use it, but chances are if I don't put one there, you're going to want one. And you'll be standing there trying to lean on an inflatable. So,
Well, at least you could put your water bottle up on the chair or something. Or whatever.
The band, Bill is gonna play at 10 a.m. He's gonna start at 10. He's gonna play until Bobby Way comes and kicks him off the stage, essentially. He can start doing the, Bobby Way can start putting his stuff up and everything, as long as, Bill stays out of the way. I don't know where that's gonna happen on that stage.
Well, that one time Bill was like under a tree somewhere.
Yeah, he was over on the side.
He was like off to the side, and that way the musicians have
They
full
could set up.
access to the
Yeah,
floor.
I
Can you
have
let them
this
work
is
it
how I
out?
You want him on the stage,
Oh,
Yeah, and I,
even when they're setting up, okay.
He was over
and
here.
they can,
last time,
but we
wasn't
can have down
Yeah.
in between if necessary, but, Eastbrook Dental, just a table and a chair for the dentist. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, so that's okay. And then I'm gonna take care of, presentation at the stage. But, and again, I made this kind of a thing that's laminated and then one that we'll put up by the beer and food tent, to say who's playing when. But the time between 11:15 and 1:15, I should be able to, help anybody out. So I can walk around and try to float and get people bathrooms and stuff. Because I don't need to deal with anything until I get the magician up there. So I need to probably be there around 1 o'clock back to the stage so then I can get the magician going. So. And then the same thing happens. He's up there for, 45 minutes. I don't need to stand there for 45 minutes. I mean, I don't have a problem watching the show, but yeah, I'd hate to be watching the show and you guys have all your legs crossed or you're standing. So I'll try to get anybody, just try to get, if I'm walking around and you need something, just try to get my attention. The sheriff and canine, Deputy Malin's gonna be here from, 11 to 3. They couldn't absolutely say that they'd be able to stay to 4 because the shift is over. So, the fire department, received the, is picking up the unit from Sussex and will be there to work with that. We have not heard yet from Flight for Life yet, and I haven't really walked out where they're gonna come down if that's the case. So
You could put some kind of a target down there for them to land on, or they'll just figure it out.
they would usually talk to us ahead of time.
But in years past, when they came, I think they just put a big circle out there for them to
Do they?
kind of sit down.
Right, JK Lee has a booth as well, and that is number 17 on your map. And so it's kind of by the dentist. They are both, by.
Can I just go back to, the horse part? Mike, are you gonna have like a step or something again?
Yeah, I
for
got
us?
that like
Thank you.
2-tier step to get up.
Okay,
where people
thank
get
you.
up there. Yep.
Are you gonna have the cash box? Mike,
No, I'll take.
oh, you have that, okay,
Because I'll just bring it from here on Friday.
okay, good.
The question with the bouncy house, is there other people at the bouncy house? I see just mine hidden, there's like 4 bouncy houses.
No,
Okay,
there's
the people-
Jean is
Oh.
at 1, you're at
Oh.
1, John is at 1, and Tracy's at
Okay.
1.
I mean, I think maybe that was confusing because it says baseball, basketball. I didn't think it was part of being inside the bouncy.
Yeah, they're all.
It's not inside, they're separate,
Okay.
they're separate things.
Okay,
They're separate bouncy houses, but they're not entered.
Yeah.
okay.
And that's gonna be enough room for, because those obstacle courses are pretty big, so that's all gonna go there, fit in there.
Because the rock
Because
wall's
it's the
going way
whole
down.
side, they have
So this'll
from the
probably
rock
be-
wall all the way over, they have all of that area that they can.
So this where it says bounce house, that'll probably be obstacle course, and then the bounce house
Yeah,
will be with the others. Yeah,
right.
okay.
Then, Marlene's, after the, you said you were gonna, put the food in.
Load it up and take it
And,
over.
I said that, yeah, you may need help loading your car, so I don't know if that is something that we might wanna talk about if that's.
Usually I just go like this, hi, guys, help.
But I mean, if it's worthwhile, if we're only getting, one bag, is it worthwhile for us?
We filled the back of my car up last year.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
The Citizen Academy, and I've got Paul the first half of the day during parking. And then I had floaters down there for breaks, and then they all ended up in other places, so. I will try to float as much as I possibly can. To help out.
The Citizens Academy, I talked to one of the gentlemen, he came to our rummage sale at church. And they're all set, they know what to do, they've done it before. If Paul finds everything's good, once everybody is in, then go float and see where people need help.
That's a good idea.
And do I tell them what they do about going to get their little lunch ticket or money? What do we, how are
So,
we doing
the
that?
volunteers, over Citizen Academy.
Yes, it is.
So they would, I figured I would do some lunch tickets, something pretty bright,
Okay.
and we'll hand those out with the, volunteer, necklaces. Citizen Academy will have their own thing, but I can give you so many, once you tell me how many you need
Okay.
for all the citizens.
There's four, isn't that four?
There's usually four.
Yeah.
And then I always bring a cooler of waters and I leave it with them in their little
I
covered areas.
Yeah,
They
I
have water.
did mention to the volunteers that we would have water, so they're not buying water,
Yeah.
so we need to pick up water.
Cool.
Need to get that cold for them. By the beer tent.
I didn't bring my cooler tonight because we got moved up ahead a week, but I'll drop it off at the office next week sometime or.
Oh, yeah. Do you want my big cooler like in the past too for beer or?
Trying to remember how many. So I have two I bring and then I have two at the park.
It's nice to separate
I
all
mean,
the
I've always-
different flavors of stuff. It's easier than digging.
Yeah, you don't wanna dig each flavor in the cooler.
You know, I can drop it if
Bring
you
it,
want.
And then if I don't need it, I don't need it.
So we'll have it up there, what, like by Wednesday or Thursday of that
Wednesday,
week?
yeah.
Okay,
The beer is gonna be dropped off, or the alcohol is gonna be dropped off here. And then, Mike and I will, work on that. We're not going to, the difference is because we're purchasing it,
mhm,
we have to have it in a specific area. And then when, and we can return anything that's unopened. So we don't wanna take all of the cases and shove them into ICE to find out that we've got 3 cases we could have sent back, you know, something. And so, so that would have to come back. We talked about, the refrigerator. So we've been talking a little bit about how we're gonna handle the beer, but it's not gonna be dropped off at the parks and it's not gonna all be broken up into. Because if we can return some, it's only gonna be helpful.
Can we like open up? I don't know, let's just say there's 12 and I think, to open up one pack of each into ice and keep the other ones in a dry cooler.
And I think I think we're gonna do more than one. I mean, at the beginning,
Yeah.
we'll drop a bunch
Way
of them
more.
into
Yeah.
ice and.
I'm
leave them
just
there, But
making an example,
that-
and then the rest can go into a dry cooler that is.
yeah,
cold.
we've worked
Yeah,
that out
okay.
as a refrigerator.
yeah, so you're not putting warm beer in the ice
No.
when you're
Right.
reloading, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so what are we selling a can of beer for? What-
$3.
$2.
And is there some price point in there where, the village is making a little money on what we have to pay to purchase?
Yeah.
So,
The first game.
oh, excellent.
Well, until they,
Yeah.
actually, until we pay it all up, but if
Okay.
we're returning,
Mhm,
depends on how much we have left over that's
mhm,
open.
right,
So if we
Oh,
open up too much, we're gonna make less money.
Right.
If you think of it that way.
mhm.
But you know, every can is making us some.
That's good.
What's the cost to the village?
I don't know. Maybe $1, maybe. Kind of off the top. of my head.
And because the response, the interest, on the social media seems more, is it time for maybe for more tables or more chairs to be available as a
Picnic
village?
tables and stuff.
Picnic tables, yes. I don't,
Yeah,
and is there access to them? then?
Cause we don't rent out any shelters at community park that weekend. Or the fact that there's no tables available.
Okay.
So I use every table I
You
have.
use everyone, okay. And in the past, we've had enough, right?
Yes,
There's always been enough,
yes,
so I
we've
guess we
had
just
more than
keep,
enough.
just keep an eye
Hopefully,
on that.
We will, hopefully it will be tight this time.
Mhm.
And also, if
Be nice, but-
social media doesn't lie, it never lies. People show up, buy more beer, it won't be a problem because we'll sell out. There'll be no
Nice.
leftovers.
Yep.
Cause that's always a pain anyway,
Right,
so.
So if we have to remember that all of those people that are, performing, so
Mhm.
now because we brought these performances in.
Right.
Their families are all gonna be there.
Mhm.
And so they will stick around and play, I'm sure, probably 90% of them, 95% of them. The rest, that have to go, they'll take off right away, but. Some of these are little kids and they're all they're gonna see the bouncy houses and that's it.
Yeah, they're gonna want a balloon animal and
Yeah.
face painted and such.
I've been hitting my social media, instant messaging all the moms with little kids in mind and reminding them about the event. It's a free event, so free kids event.
I got two things before I forget. Could you have Natasha update the flyers for the food pantry that I put on the barrel? Like food pantry donations.
Okay.
Match those.
Mhm.
And then are you gonna have Natasha post the schedule online, like on Facebook for timing of like the magician and performing?
I think she's been doing that already. She's kind of been what's helped is not only just paying for marketing, we also, she kind of spotlit each vendor that was coming, linked to their page and told them that we're having them there. And so people that are reading through our Facebook normally had gotten like little posts periodically that in the parks area, if they're on the page.
And do you have a tip jar? And
Yeah.
whatever, what are you
Yeah,
gonna put on
I
there?
do.
And did we decide where their donations are going to?
No,
So we have
Just
this
general?
sign. So I got a couple extra pictures here. We've got this sign here.
Look at that. Oh, nice.
Okay.
And so
Oh.
it'll, it's, so wherever we put it, if we put it by the beer,
Yeah,
that's like the perfect first place to put it. By the beer.
100%.
And they can donate online if they hit that button, or they can volunteer to work the festival or by hitting that button, so.
Great.
And so we kind of made it, I know we talked about it, we kind of made it just,
Yeah, very like,
donation towards future community facilities, and that's, it could be the bathrooms, it could be, park area, but we didn't want to narrow it down to just one thing.
Okay.
Because it might not interest everyone.
This is true.
The bathrooms will interest everyone, but the,
Thanks.
but especially if they're there and they have to use the ones.
Everybody's gotta use them.
Look at us, we've got QR.
Could I do a shout out about the new signage? They're very nice. I've seen 3 of them out and about. I don't know if you've all seen, very
Yeah,
nice.
they're
So Claire,
very
did you
nice.
design that and take care of that, Mike, or?
It's not my forte.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, whoever did that, did a great job.
Yeah, they turned out.
They did. So
Somebody's
thank you.
gotta put them up.
They look really
Yeah.
good.
They, and hopefully more people are seeing it. We do have, the bank on the corner of 164 and Main will be putting our thing on
Oh,
for the
oh,
week.
on
so
their
we'll see
marketing.
on their marketing.
Mhm.
Land and Stones doesn't work anymore. They don't put anything out on theirs. On, F and K, that isn't lit up any longer. So
About the fire department.
the fire department sign will have on. But the other ones are all taken care of for us. I can remind Michelle.
And even the schools.
And do we have
Wouldn't the
somebody who's
schools-
kind of like I don't want to say an official photographer, or like everybody take pictures so we can post pictures of it afterwards.
Natasha's gonna be there, so then she can try to get some
Oh, good.
pictures in. So anybody, I'm not trying to deter you, take the pictures. Because she might not see something that you see, and if something happens and she ends up with something going on with her family that she can't make it, then we would have no pictures because you thought that I said don't take pictures. So we take pictures, all the pictures you can. I'll try to, if Natasha's there, we might be able to do like, we're trying to get Mike to do a Facebook Live and say, we're here at the festival, and try to get Mike online and really try to, it's getting his cheeks are.
He just has to look a little more excited.
But get him online,
Putting up
get
all those
people
kids.
really excited about it, and
Kind of like what we do, I don't know if you're on our Facebook page at all, but you see, what Joe D has done in the past when he's snow plowing. He gets on there and he
Yes.
says, hey, give us some grace
Yes.
out here, we've been out here all night, you know. and-
Well,
Yeah,
and the
people
brush
love that.
pickup, there was another one yesterday
Yeah,
saying
Nick
we're
did.
finished
Yeah.
and
Nick's
shout
been
out. Yeah,
He's picking up, it
Right. Mm-hmm.
takes a little bit to be that comfortable, so it might take Michael a few times trying to get it down. Mhm.
He'll sit and coach you.
It'll be real genuine, Mike. It'll be great.
and then,
Good.
I'm not gonna be Debbie Downer, I just wanna throw it out now that we're all here. When I spoke to the booking agent for Bobby Way, he said, with all the rain we've had and all the storms we've had, what if there's a bad storm? What is your alternate plan? And I said, we've never had to cancel, we're not planning to cancel, and I said, and we have no indoor facility,
Paid
but
everything,
just,
so
but
we'll be paid
knowing.
For next year.
But I mean, if indeed, maybe we all just take 2 minutes now. Would we cancel if there's lightning and if it's tornadic activity somewhere? Who would make that call? I mean, I'd like to just have it out there now and it'll be,
Good idea.
that way we don't need it, but just something to think about.
Yeah.
We've had thunderstorms at the Easter egg hunt in the morning. And then it cleared up by,
And that's great. That's wonderful.
So,
But
you
if we're in
know-
the middle of it and it starts
Yeah.
thundering and lightning, we
Right.
know that the horses are going away as quickly as they can.
Correct.
because
And
they're
those,
not gonna-
well, and those bouncy houses, you know, if the wind picks up or the
Yeah.
wet and the electric,
So-
you know, stuff going, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
ahead.
And there is a possibility because, well, had enough rain for, and thunderstorms,
every
Right.
wind. But
So.
Well, then I guess maybe,
I can make the final call, but,
well, and then what you should probably do is have some kind of a text chain. So if that's it, everybody knows we got to start evacuating, tell people to leave, have some kind of a route, like talk to the Citizens Academy, figure out like how to get people without like stampeding out of there.
Right,
well, I think once it
I mean-
starts to rain, people are all gonna leave anyways.
right.
Everybody has cell phones, everybody's gonna,
Yeah,
pull-
everybody's gonna-
everybody's gonna
Right.
pull up their weather. and-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the
So-
radar, you
Oh,
can see it
yes,
come in.
they
pretty-
will.
you can see it come in.
We'll, I'll get you all on a group text
Mhm.
and, I'll put the group text out, when we're starting out in the morning, so we know everybody got it, and then you have my number if there's anything like, I haven't seen you in a while, and I can't stand here any longer, you're gonna need to come. So,
Well, thank you, just because again, it just some of the height of, you know, the climbing equipment and such. I'm just throwing it out there for
I'm
safety.
sure they're all
That
gonna
was a great
watch,
call
I'm
out.
sure they're
Great
all
call
gonna
out.
watch it
So-
too.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, and we're going to have fire department personnel here, we're going to have law enforcement, so we have people there, but in the event, like. If there's storms overnight and we decide to just cancel the whole thing, I mean, that's another,
yeah.
Possibility.
Would do that if it was wet overnight.
right, I mean,
I don't know if we'd do that, the stages.
I don't know.
Well, no, more like
Set
on
up and-
Wednesday or Thursday,
Right.
when you can look at a few days ahead. They're always
Yeah.
wrong anyways, but.
I mean, that would be the biggest issue, because we set up all the tents
Yes,
Friday and everything, you know, if
Mhm.
one of those did.
exactly.
Or something, but that's something.
I mean, it would potentially be a little muddy, but
Yeah,
Leave them in the
major festivals, for example, the Milwaukee Art Festival, et cetera. These festivals, we can't run and hide. I think we should plan on doing it. NOAA says that the weather is gonna calm down. Obviously, we've been in a very active weather pattern, which means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's only out through Thursday. The percentage of chance for showers or T-storms is like 20%. That doesn't mean that it's gonna stay at 20% or they're not gonna go down,
Right.
okay? So I would like to be, and it's perfectly okay to raise that, obviously. I'd like to be optimistic and say, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
And as you just pointed out,
Right
with
now it's 82.
all the technology that people have today, if they wanna leave, they're gonna leave.
Exactly. Right.
So anyway.
Well, and hopefully, because we've discussed it, it's not gonna happen.
Except
Yeah.
82
This
is
is
really
like my
hot when you're
insurance
standing
policy.
out by
pretty
the
good.
bouncy houses in the sun the whole time.
Yes.
You know, like you talk about it, doesn't-
Yeah.
Bring your hats
Bring
with
it
you.
Anyway.
Anyway, okay, thank you all. Thanks for listening to
So
that.
did you hear that? The weather right now says it's gonna be 82 and partially sunny.
Yay.
I
I
like
would rather
Saturday.
have
Just
like.
do- Yeah, and
72.
it'll change like 3 times the
Oh,
board
yeah.
on
Mhm.
Saturday, but.
And everybody wears your park shirts.
Yes.
Did you get a park shirt? Oh, you're
In
not.
our land, in our
It's
land.
not gonna be there, but I meant to bring it to them.
Next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You could wear your park shirt on Saturday when you're with your daughter to remember.
I want to be in the text chain. I want to see what's going on. I feel terrible.
I was gonna try to.
Really
take a camera,
Well, which one? Those two of them.
It was tight last year.
Tell you.
Video, some of them. the woman says
We have more-
something, so then I could-
Mike, are you a gay? Joe sent us-
Even if you just take some, I stumbled over there. I'm not gonna be here, but.
It's really a
It was
big
tight
change.
last year.
I know.
It's this year is a real big change.
I don't think she is.
Doesn't make any
I
difference in our
in
number of
person
people.
said I.
Do we have somebody counting?
I don't think we have anyone that counts. We don't have anybody that counts heads on their way. But we can definitely, yeah, we can definitely see the difference. I mean, I've got pictures of, you know, kind of empty-ish areas. If we get them filled in, we'll be able to tell the difference, I think, from last year and the year before's pictures.
We need somebody with a drone.
One is Ed points out. we're
Anybody
gonna
have,
run out of
anybody
beer,
have
so
a
that's
drone?
good.
They could go up.
Run out of
there
beer.
It's-
We are not, unfortunately, we're not at that point where we have, like a lot of festivals where they have an organized entry point, so it's so much easier to count people. You've got the bug line and you've got all kinds, so I would, it's just a visual, I wouldn't, it's another thing, I wouldn't stay awake at night wondering, oh, how many people are gonna make it? Uh-uh,
not worried about that either.
Right, right.
so,
We'll do it like they do on the news, hundreds.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll be honest in our news reporting.
Okay. fair enough.
Thousands.
All right.
So what
Um,
time should we all plan to be there on Saturday? We do that?
10?
Oh, yeah.
That was like.
Around
the norm.
10, okay. And then plan to.
Well, that one guy's playing on the stage.
Unless,
at
of
times,
course,
so.
we have some bad winds and stuff, might need some hands putting things back together from the day before.
Is everybody gonna park down below or up top or does it really matter where everybody parks?
I'm parking down below. Near the food.
Oh, well, your
Oh,
your
well,
car's
that-
gonna be
I
down there.
think everybody will.
I'm almost thinking 9:30-ish because Bill's gonna start playing at 10. And by the time you get in and you get your car parked and you get up and check out what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, I would think
I think I told the,
9:30-ish.
I think I told the resident volunteers, I think. 10:30, because they're just gonna go to that post.
Yeah,
That's fine,
yeah.
and they're not doing setup or anything. I'd like to keep these, people as just volunteers, not try to get them, not try to force them to this meeting all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think we have people that just don't mind volunteering a day, but aren't gonna wanna do monthly meetings, so I hate to skip it.
Well, and then at the end, in the past, like Kelly and Tracy, their family members, husbands have stayed to help take everything down. Those of us who can stay did, because there's a heck of a lot to do for Mike and Jeff and who's the other, or, I mean, so everybody who can stay after, plan to do that for a good hour or two also,
think
right?
I think we got done like by
Pretty fast.
45. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
it
fast.
was like-
Yeah, it was only like
Okay,
45
good.
minutes, but we had a bunch of people help. get
Yeah,
help.
I mean, there was a lot of help, so. I mean, and I know some of it can wait, like you said, you do it on Monday, but there is so much that has to get finished Saturday.
And
Yes, it usually winds down a little.
Yeah.
Not many people.
Yeah, but our face painters and our balloons, all those guys left like at 3 o'clock last year, so it kind of,
That's
We
true.
paid
that
up-
started
we paid
dying
up
out.
For them, right, we made it very
That's
clear.
right, that's right.
And
So we could
everybody,
really watch for that.
everybody received their payments, so we're not switching money or don't have to worry about somebody coming up to you and asking you for a check. Who do I go for my check? Everybody was paid. That's why I said if we had to cancel for some reason, you're all paid up for next year, but let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm really looking forward to this. This is my only one. I'll be gone next year, and so it's kind of this kickoff of this new type of festival, but you guys take the reins. Yeah,
we'll
Yeah.
maybe be able, you'll maybe be able to, I'm still at the, we'll be able to, but, maybe you'll be able to, add some other things in there.
And
See what
Mike,
doesn't work or what does.
are those three summer help guys gonna be around too on Saturday, or is that not part of their? I mean, is that your plan though?
That would be volunteer.
Usually they're not, okay,
They don't.
okay.
One
It's
other
like-
question
It's not paid.
for the Optimist Club for their grilling, correct?
Mhm.
Outside,
Yes.
Okay, so I'll put up the snow fence.
Yeah.
I'll get it right.
Did you want to talk about volunteer? Lunches for volunteer?
Oh, yeah, well, did you go over that already with
Well, I
like?
kind of just said that
tickets?
I have these tickets, but we want to expand the volunteer lunches
Well, to everybody.
to
that's
everybody
volunteer.
that's volunteer.
Right, so you guys included, everybody gets a lunch. Yeah,
So.
yeah, I mean, you're spending your time there, it's fair,
Okay.
we. Thank you.
So we won't make as much, but we will be able to. The big thing is I want to make sure that our volunteers come back.
Right.
And so if we have them out there with nothing to drink and then no lunch, and they sat there all day, chances of them signing up for you guys next year.
Zero.
Yeah, right.
Well, they ate good last year.
Well, only the
'Cause they were-
citizen, only the citizen.
Yeah,
Only the
Citizens
citizens.
Academy.
I'm talking about the other volunteers.
Oh,
Yeah,
we really,
yeah,
Didn't have
everybody,
well,
everybody here.
yeah, we never did.
Yeah, we, I mean,
Well, this year you're going to.
thank you.
Yeah.
And the, you know, and now we have these two residents that are volunteers, so that's hopefully they'll
Mhm.
say, oh, it was a lot of fun and.
Get your
and their
neighbors.
Neighbors to come and do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Anybody else think of something? Marlene, would it be okay if I, have the volunteers when they're leaving, drop off their tags by you
Sure.
at the beer tent?
Sure.
And I'll leave extra ones at the beer tent, for if somebody says, hey, I could, you know, man a third,
Mhm.
which no, it'll never happen, but just in case. You'll
Never know.
have the extras. We'll keep those, and then, I think you guys are all gonna keep your badges.
Mhm.
Mhm.
For
Right.
like National Night Out and everything else.
Sure.
Coming down the line. The volunteer badges we'll try to collect, and I think I'll probably give them to Mike to hold on
Yeah.
for the next year.
If they don't see you, just tell the volunteers to come to the beer tent.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Instead of them trying to seek me out.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them have a.
Because
place
we're
to go.
there, we're stationary. Yeah.
Great, I appreciate you doing that.
And are you going to be handing out those colored paper to them, or do you want them to come to the beer tent together?
What?
The ticket for the.
Tickets for.
Oh,
those
When
orange-
when
gonna give
they
them to
get
them
their
when they get
volunteer
their-
bag, they're gonna be, volunteer tag, it'll be on the back of their volunteer.
And you're going, now if they come to the beer tent and say, I'm a volunteer, where do I get my stuff?
Yeah.
They gotta go find you?
Yeah, well, I'll let you take care of it.
Okay,
If they
then bring
haven't
it,
done that. Yeah,
bring it to the beer tent.
absolutely.
Okay.
I'll leave tags for you. I'll
Yeah.
leave extra, lunch tickets with
Okay.
you, so then, if somebody
That's
says, I
easy,
lost my
okay.
lunch ticket, but, if you could talk to the Optimist Club, once I figure out what this lunch ticket's gonna look like. If you can show them what it looks like, and
Oh, yeah.
count the tickets, and,
They're right next to me.
yeah, the whole time. Yeah, that'd be great.
I have one comment I'd like to add about the volunteers, is I remember a year or two ago, we had a big discussion about volunteers having to sign a waiver because they're not covered by
Yep.
village insurance.
Mhm.
Are we in that same situation again, that if an accident or something happens?
But we are not. So we have new insurance policy this year, so we're covered.
Okay, wonderful. So volunteer for that day if they do have a mishap. Thank you.
As long as they're not running any equipment, we're in good shape.
No,
Don't put them out there with a chainsaw.
Bad idea.
So, anything else that anybody else can think of? Marlene, did I forget anything?
I think everything's covered, and like you say, if something comes up, we deal with it.
Good.
So,
Good, if we can keep communicating during the day, that'd be great. So if something comes up,
You
that I
have-
took care
I
of,
don't
then I'll
text.
communicate to you.
I don't text. Got to call me. Got to call me.
Yeah.
Marlene.
Okay.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
so you won't get the group text then?
She's gonna call me.
Send out the group text and I'll
You'll
yell
take
to
care of-
Marlene.
Whoever's in the beer tent with you'll have a text.
Yeah, I'll have
You'll have a
text.
text buddy.
Yeah.
I'll find a text buddy.
Yeah.
I just have a beer in my hand. Here, text buddy.
And so Tracy and Mike, if you feel more comfortable being, you and Jeff, not dealing with the money and the beer and being out, with the kids at one of the bouncy houses, and you prefer to be in the, you know, work it out between the two of you. I don't have a problem with you guys switching jobs. I just wanted to make sure I had somebody
Right.
at each
Right.
job. So.
Nothing?
I don't drink beer, so I won't have any.
I will have maps. I'll have maps at 9:30. I'll bring maps for you guys. So then. And if it does look like it's gonna rain, I will laminate a couple of them. So. We'll have some.
Yeah, so
maps to
I'll
show
just
them
keep-
bring your
I'll just
slickers
keep
just in
those my
case.
car.
Each table will have a number on it. So every place I'll put a, you know, a 2, 3, 4 on the ground here. So then they know where they're supposed to be.
think it looks good.
Mhm.
Um. Future agenda items, we'll definitely put the 5-year plan on there for sure.
Mhm.
And really make a concerted effort on that. So we'll do 5-year plan.
Yeah, well, the last couple of months have been either the Easter egg extravaganza.
Yeah.
And then this, the last 2 meetings.
Yeah.
So now we can focus on.
So now that, yeah, exactly.
So we'll do a wrap up of the
Yes.
thing and figure out what worked, what didn't.
Does anybody have any other agenda items they want to put on for next meeting? Nope. All right, then we should have time to get to some good discussion on that. That looks like everything on the agenda. Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So move.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're out at 5:58.
You didn't even have an hour deadline and you made it anyway.
Oh my God. That's good. I am so bummed I'm not gonna be here, I gotta tell you.
But we will let you know.
I'll be back.
I know.
You're still working.